All right, so very good afternoon to all of you, cherished viewers of Hot Issues, and welcome to another exciting and interesting edition of Hot Issues. So, lots of things have been happening in the country. Now, we're told that some 208 vehicles from the presidency cannot be found. In the words of the Director of Communications at the presidency, Eugene Ahen, these vehicles are missing. Well, we've had some rebuttals from the NDC now. Not so long ago, Johnny Kofiose, who was Deputy Chief of Staff under the John Mahama administration, has come out to say that cannot be the case because they left the NPP government with 641 vehicles. Then not long after that, we hear the Administrator General David Yarrow saying, well, if I add everything, it sums up to 668. Of course, I know you've been asking questions. You're asking questions and asking these questions. Where are the remaining 27? Well, this afternoon on Hot Issues, we're going to be probing these issues, but we'll also go into what many of you have termed a national security crisis. Why would 200 policemen or 200 recruits of the Ghana Police Service be dismissed 2 months into their training? Why didn't the police do due diligence in finding out whether these persons presented the right results, but wait for them to get into training and then come out to say, you know what, these people do not have, the right documents, we're sending them away. These are issues we're discussing this afternoon on Hot Issues. When we return after this short break, I'll introduce my guest and then we begin deliberations. My name is Winston Amwa. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break. All right, so welcome back from that short break and thanks for staying with us. Now, my guest for this afternoon is one man who knows it all when it comes to security. He was National Security Advisor under the John Evans Atta Mills administration. He's been twice Chief of Defense Staff. Of course, he's been retired on those circumstances. And he's been also in charge of the human security under the national security. My guest, Brigadier General Nunoo Mensah. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining.
Good afternoon.
And how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. As you can see, people tell me I'm not growing. I'm almost 80. I'll be 80 this year, but I do all...
I thought you were born in 1939.
No. You see, when you go into the military in those days, to start with, if you were born into a family of a fisherman and the woman that sold cassava in the market, how on earth are you going to know the date of your birth?
So you now know your date of birth?
The date, unless you ask God, I wouldn't know. But I know for sure that in 1945, precisely 72 years ago, I entered school, the Winneba Basel Mission School, 72 years ago. If you think that I was fishing and a big boy, at least I would have been 7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years. So now if you do all the additions,
you end up with...
You're 8 years. So let's get into the discussions for this afternoon. Now, what's wrong with the police service asking, dismissing over 200 recruits 2 months into training for forging their documents?
Well, I heard of this when I was driving a couple of days ago on one of the radio FM stations talking about this. And the reason given was that they forged their documents. I don't know whether anything more.
They said they forged their documents.
And I was wondering why 2 or 3 months into the training, they got to know that this happened. That was surprising to me, And I know that when I enlisted in the army in 1960, for example, our O-level results had not arrived. But the army got to exam council, were able to find out that we had passed the exam. I was actually in the academy when my results came. I didn't, but they knew before. So how on earth are the police of all institutions who are charged with all the instruments of investigation, CID and so on, that this happened and they wouldn't know? That's very surprising.
Because the police says they went to WAEC and WAEC, delayed. I mean, they only took the decision after WAEC had given them an answer. What's wrong with that?
No, I'm saying that. I smell a bit of a rat. This always. 2009 when the MDC came into office, I had similar experience when it didn't come out like this fast come out. I think the two main parties, NPP and...
Now hold on, in 2009, what happened that didn't come out?
What I'm saying that there were suspicious recruitment.
So were they asked to go home?
No. What I mean, I found documents which a lot of things happened, but it wasn't for me to blow the whole thing and mess up. They have been recruited, they have been policemen. To go back and then unravel all these would have been terrible.
No, General, so in 2009, with those recruitment, what was wrong with those recruitment and what happened?
You see, the problem we have in Ghana today is that we don't speak with honesty. I'm one of those people that even if you were shooting me right now, I'll speak the truth and die speaking the truth. There are things that, for security reasons, you wouldn't want to talk about because we have to be very careful saying certain things. And I won't say them on this program because they are delicate. Not everything that, there are things that I know that until I die, nobody will know about them. Because they might not help anyone if I said them. The point I'm making is that I found instances of such a thing happen. You see, all the political parties.
What were those instances that people went in with forged?
No, not forged. But the point I'm making
what
is
did they go in with?
Briefly speaking, you see, I really don't want to.
General, we need to know what's
the point I'm making is that
because Ghanaians would need to understand these issues. Yes,
the two main parties, NDC and NPP, are playing the same game. When you come to power, you bring your force together and recruit them into the army, into the police. That's what they all do. The NPP behave as if they have not done it before. They both do it. So they suspect that NDC, leaving office, have brought in full soldiers and recruited them. This is what I believe.
But they say these people had forged documents.
And if they forge documents, forgery is an offense under the criminal code. It's not an offense.
It's an offense.
Why don't they charge them? I mean, you see that the problem we have in Ghana is that we cannot deal with crime because the laws are there, but we don't use the law to deal with it. Look, in the military, if I did wrong, I'll be punished. I knew the consequence. I knew the military law. I studied it. So if I did wrong, I expected to be punished. If they commit an offense under the criminal code, you deal with it. You don't just
yes, but General, how do you conclude and how do you convince us that this is political? When the police says they went in with forged certificates or results.
The point I'm saying, probably keep Winston, I'm saying that if it took you 2 to 3 months to find out, first of all, how many of them? They were like 200?
Yes, in the region of 200.
Out of how many?
3,000. 3,000 recruits, yes.
That's very 3,000?
Yes, 3,000. Yes, 3,000.
So has it been occurring previously or the first time?
Well, the police, I mean, when I spoke to the police service, what they said was that it's something they do. But the thing is that they do not announce it. And in fact, Superintendent Cephas Arthur makes the point that, look, but for the letter being cited by the media, nobody would have heard about this.
Yeah.
So it's not, I mean, so then comes the point about the two parties being the same. Because he says, would have done.
No, they all do. See, I mean, there's pressure on them to recruit full soldiers who may not qualify. I will not do it. There's no way I would do it. But some will bend the rule and recruit them. So it's not a sin that's committed by the NDC alone. They all do it. You know, Adams, they all do it because I have also been part of the NPP. I mean, I've been everywhere. So
in 2009 when you came,
yeah,
and when there was pressure, what did the NDC do?
No, I found this information, but I kept it to myself. It was too late to. I mean, you don't go and wake.
So are you suggesting you got people into the
security
services?
Not even I'm saying that. There were evidence that I found which showed me that there had been some hanky-panky business. But it was something I'm going to unravel. I mean, not everything you go back and unravel. I mean, the world is now.
You see, General, I want to understand that particular thing that you're talking about. And I'm sure my viewers would also want to know. So now you see you unraveled something. What did you unravel? What was wrong with the recruitment?
Proper for me to say it for security reasons to say it right now. Privately, I would tell you, but not on such a medium like this.
No, do I get the impression that there were people who went into the security services, which, based on what you unraveled, shouldn't have been in there?
No. For a wholly different reason, not for the reason that they forged documents. But the point I keep on making is that the two political parties, they play the same game.
What's that game?
For example, you have full soldiers, okay? You are leaving office. The NDC did it, the NPP did it. And the pressure on them to recruit them. They may not qualify like in this case. But they managed to bend the rules. You can always bend the rules. There's nothing the government cannot do, according to Lord Denning, except to turn a man into a woman and vice versa. So this happens. But what I find difficult to understand is why it wasn't found out until very late in the game that they found out that they carried forged documents. My other concern also is that when people commit crime, if it's true, you deal with them. You don't get dismiss them. It's an offense under the criminal code. And if you want to stop criminal things in this country, you have to deal with offenders and punish them, deterrent to others who might commit the same offense. If you don't do that, then criminality will continue to happen in this country. So if it is true, I don't know. I've never been involved with the police. I don't know whether if it's true.
What they say is true. I've spoken to the police director of public affairs.
They asked him why they wouldn't commit them to
he says the processes are ongoing. As we speak, they haven't charged them, but the processes are ongoing.
But they're not going to charge them. That means that people are also allegations have been made. Nobody charging anybody. This is the problem with Ghana. A lot of things are happening. Allegations are made of corruption, of this and that. It just that's the end of it. But I'm saying that I will not take that. Because if you want to deal with crime, now there are a lot of corruption in this country. Africa, Ghana is what? The last corruption index. Ghana was somewhere, I don't know. But if you tell me I am corrupt, I will vigorously defend myself. I'm not corrupt. I've not been corrupt. If I did, in fact, I was corrupt, I will not take my own money, which I've earned legitimately, to build schools and do all these projects. I'm not corrupt. So, and my children, some of whom you know, they'll never be corrupt. So we the parents, we are in a dire situation where people are doing all kinds of things, and and they get away with it.
So, General, does it have any security implications for us? These 200 people who have been sacked, having gone through 2 months of training.
No, if they committed a crime by forging documents, you can't say because they have been trained and so therefore let the crime pass. No, that's one they should be dealt with. They should be dealt with. So I wouldn't say that because of what they have learned in the police service during their training, we should let it go. I wouldn't allow that. I would not say that. You see, I'm very, very serious on dealing with crime. Because if you don't deal with crime, if you don't deal with it effectively, this country is doomed. Everything's going now. All kinds of things. I have a house at Jowolu. A young man came there, took part from my house into his house. Walking there, I saw wire hanging from outside. I said, what is going on? So I cut the wire off and threw the wire into his yard. Now, I would never do a thing like this. There's no way.
You cut his wire off?
Yes, and threw it out. And he should have come to apologize to me. And he didn't care. He thought it was right to tap my power and use it. You see?
Yeah, but General, for these people, they have actually been trained. Now they've become jobless. They could use this to engage in crimes.
No, what I'm saying that. You see,
so long as they've not been charged yet, they could use this and engage in crimes.
What I can tell you for sure that you've got to, it's a delicate balance you have to make. Whether because of a possible implication on our security, I will let the crime of forgery go. You have to have a delicate balance. I'm saying that no.
But is there a probability and possibility of an implication on our security?
The fact that they've been trained. I mean, there are a lot of soldiers who have been trained, who were let off. It didn't mean that they were going around with their AK-47s and whatnot to murder people. So, I don't think we should. I think if they commit a crime, I keep on saying it, they should be dealt with, and its implication on security. I think we can live with it. I think we can live with it. But the crime of forgery is serious. Today you let it go. There are many things I hear on radio as I drive. A minister who is now approved of women, gender, and children affairs, whatever affairs. I'm told, I was driving, I don't read the papers easy, I don't have time, I'm doing something else, that she didn't do her national service.
That's true, she didn't do her national service. What's wrong with
and then, well, no, I'm sure, is it the law that you can be employed if you didn't do it? What about those graduates who are coming out?
The law says you can't be employed if you haven't done it.
And they've been employed service at the highest office.
The law also says that if you are 40 years the completion of tertiary education, you should apply for exemption from the national service.
No, what I mean, if the right thing was, I heard the opposition making a lot of noise during the confirmation and so on. The point I keep on making, which is that we should live by the truth. You cannot live by behaving untruthfully. If by the law, she's okay, I have no problem. But if you are bending the law, if somebody bend the law in the police to recruit people who are not qualified, then the country has no future. What I'm saying is that, so I can give you my personal example. And I know And I insist on integrity. It's very important. It's very important. This kind of, look, I can leave my money in my house. It can be there for 100 years. My children will never touch it.
Okay, but so I mean, you're an intelligence person. I just would want your thought on why would somebody want to forge certificates?
They're desperate. They are desperate. They are desperate. You walk on the street, walk on the airport. It's young men selling dog chains, selling toffee, chocolate. I was with my wife. I asked my wife, look, if your children, 2 boys were like, how would you feel? How would you feel? A young man walking on the street, selling dog chains, selling chocolate. Is that what your son will be doing? I felt for that. I felt sad. No, I mean, this is the problem. This is the security risk that we face. These children are going to be dangerous. If we don't look for avenue for them to live have a useful life, we are in trouble. I'm telling you, we are in trouble.
Does this development call for a restructuring of the police service?
No. I think the police have, I don't know. I mean, Ghana is not the same Ghana I knew when I was young.
What has changed?
A lot of things have changed. Dishonesty is now rife. As I told you, somebody can tap my power, collect my house. It will never happen in my time. Never. It never. No, it never. But
that was illegal. You should have also have reported him.
I'm a very forgiving person.
No, so you did the wrong thing.
No. Listen, I don't go to church very often. But the prodigal son, you know the prodigal son, where he left the house, when he came back to the father and asked for forgiveness. Now, what Christ is saying that if you offend somebody and you go back and apologize and say, I'm sorry, you should be forgiven. If you had come to me, if I come and say, Daddy, I didn't do well.
So in the same vein, if the recruits go and apologize that they are sorry, they should be forgiven?
The recruit matter is a matter of national security. This
is also a matter of tapping power illegally.
Yeah, but you see, the problem here is that there's a general problem of indiscipline in the country here. Many of us are not being properly brought up. There was no way I could do this, even though my father was illiterate.
Good.
And brought me up on a diet of Christianity, of honesty, integrity.
So does it call for restructuring of the police service?
No, I don't think that. I think that it's a general malady affecting the country. See, I'm talking about the quality of our society, see, when I was a child and today. There's a marked difference. Marked difference. So it's and when you have, say, for the minister behaving inappropriately, and we accept it, allegations of corruption flying here and there, and we keep quiet. We are telling the young people that it's okay to drive through a red light with a motorcycle. Okay, to do anything, and everything's happening in Ghana today. We have become an unruly, indisciplined nation because nobody takes any note of anything which is wrong, and because we the leaders are not
that our leaders are indisciplined.
No.
You say that if the minister can do the wrong thing, so that means the leader is indisciplined.
If I get out in the morning, I'm drinking beer. So my children, as I grow, they will start drinking beer. Nobody drink beer in my family. My father never drank beer because we learn from.
So you're saying that children have learned these behaviors
from the elders. Yes, we are not leading
including
properly.
Our ministers and our
all
leaders.
of us. We the elders are not behaving properly. I'm not behaving. No, I'm being very honest. We are not behaving properly. So the children who are coming are a microcosm of society, of us. They are coming from us. So if there's no way my children will behave the way the gentlemen behave. There's no way. When I do wrong, I'll come to Winston, I'm sorry I did this to you. I'm very sorry. But some don't have that kind of character of nature to go and say, I'm sorry. But it is a problem that I was driving from my house to near the Soul Clinic School, this kind of to join the main road. There's a traffic light there. Soul Clinic Church, there's a traffic light there. It was green, but I made sure that I looked left and right before I joined the road. Here comes the car very fast. If I had gone across without looking, I would have been dead by now.
No, you wouldn't die. But on that note, we need to go for a very short break. And we'll return from this short break. Would focus on all of these issues, but also look at issues of assets, state assets, particularly vehicles, because there's been a whole debate on whether or not there are some 208 vehicles that are missing, and whether we really need even a task force to actually retrieve these vehicles and, by extension, state assets. This is Hot Issues, and I am Winston, and I'm here with Brigadier General Nunoo Mensah, former National Security Advisor and former Chief of Defense Staff. He holds the record of having been Chief of Defense Staff on 2 occasions. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back from that short break, and thanks for staying with us. I'm still here with Brigadier General Nunoo Mensah. So let's look at the task force to retrieve state assets. There's been lots of issues, and lots of issues concerning people using state vehicles and state vehicles being missing. But you were in office, and you were entitled to a state vehicle. Did you purchase it when you were leaving?
No. See, in all these issues, personal integrity is very important. You as a human being, the way you live your life is very important. There was no way I could take state assets. I was chief of defense staff. I stayed in my own house. I never got state money to pay for my rent, to pay for my electricity, water, whatever. I paid for my mega salary. The integrity is number one. There was no way I could do this. This issue of the vehicle, I had a vehicle. I had a Land Cruiser and a smaller saloon car.
Which saloon car was that?
I had a Toyota, and then they played with a Renault car.
And you were entitled to the saloon car?
I was entitled to, in which way? That I could take it away?
Yes, after using it if you use it for 2 years and over.
Is there a law to say that? Is there a law anything like that?
It's an administrative procedure.
No, but see, I don't agree. See, the point I'm making is that this country is where it is because of behaviors like that. I was in Canada years ago, long before you were born. You were not born in 68, so long before you were born. I know that.
Go ahead.
And the generals, they were using Ford car, the cheapest. They were giving us money. Trudeau, the current prime minister, wasn't even born. Justin Trudeau wasn't born. The father was the prime minister at the time. I learned many things. They were wealthy. They were paying me. But they were using the cheapest Ford for the military. See what they are using today, the top V8.
Is there anything wrong with that?
Everything's wrong with it.
What is wrong with it?
If you don't invest, this is why we have many young men roaming the street unemployed. If you were to be modest and use that money to invest in the economy, to invest in agriculture, invest in education, we won't be here today.
What vehicle should the president use?
Which one?
The president. What vehicle should he use? Since you say
you
say we are buying lots of expensive
I'm not talking about the president. I'll come to that. What I'm saying is that you were talking about the cars I use. I'm saying that if you are modest and disciplined, then you have integrity, like I believe I have. When NDC lost power, I was leaving office. I packed everything and I left.
You left in which year?
Not 7th of January. The government came into office. With a few days time, I packed up and left the castle. My staff are still there. Now, my driver told me...
Were you in charge of human security?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
My driver told me, sir, but this car, you can use it. I mean, they're all buying the cars. I said, Bill, I'm not like any other person. I don't take part in wrongdoing. It is wrong. Take the car and go and park it. He parked the car at the National Security Office, the Blue Gate. I was driving with him on the ring road, my own personal car. I normally wouldn't drive with him, but I wanted to park the car, but I wouldn't be able. It's quite a congested place. So go with me and then drive the car when I go to buy whatever I'm going to buy. As we were going, we were discussing this matter of him, hand over the car, saloon car. He said, but sir, but this car, you have served the country, and I think just thank you, and so like everybody doing it. I said, I'm not everybody. Now, then I saw a woman selling water, meandering through the traffic on the ring road, the heavy traffic, with a baby behind there. I told him, Bill, look at the woman there. She's selling water. So you who are thirsty can get cold water and drink, like I'm drinking today here. And the baby behind it, you know what happened to the baby's brain with all the carbon monoxide inhaling to this baby? The baby brain will be destroyed. Now, I asked him, is the woman not rendering a service to Ghana by selling cold water for you to drink? Why should I take the car and the woman is not taking that car? Take it and go and park the car there. Now, all this going on, it will not affect Nunoo Mensah. I live in my own house. I buy my own petrol. I see they are driving my own car. So all this thing about car actually
even when you were in charge of human security, you are buying your own fuel?
Official, yes. Official vehicle, yes. The official one, yes. But very often when I was going to Kunyakun, Mori, building schools, I bought my own fuel.
Were you entitled to fuel?
The car was entitled to. My car, official car, entitled to.
You used your official car on those rounds?
Yes. No. Very often, the point is that, I keep on making that, very often, as chief of defense staff, I never used the official car.
Yes, but I'm talking about when you were...
very often, I used my own car.
When you were in charge of human security, if you had to go on certain private errands, did you use official
Not
vehicle?
private errands. I went, very often, I was going on, when I was in the police station, I was going to Konyakun. You wouldn't expect to go and use my small money to buy petrol and do official work. I put a police station which look like a hotel. It's a wonderful thing. And I've done many women's secondary school.
From whose resources?
Most of them came to me, from me. Look.
No, hold on. I want to get a point. You built a police station with your money.
So the mama refunded the money,
okay,
but not in whole. I mean, I spent far more than what I did.
How much did he refund to you?
About 200,000.
How much did you spend on it?
To answer the question, you go to Konyako with the quantity surveyor to estimate. No, I'm seriously.
Yes.
It's worth more than 400,000. I'm telling you. But when I build these things, I cut the cost down to about a third. I'm telling you. To about a third. I mean, the cost reduced drastically because the contractor doesn't go to site. The worker don't work. But at 6 o'clock, I'm in Konyako, 6 o'clock. So, but the day's job is properly done.
General Nunoo Mensah, have you ever discussed these issues with some of your colleagues who are in government on why they should be, buying state vehicles when they're leaving office?
They would you need personal. Let me tell you a story, Mr. Winston. Late President Mills and I were very close. You call me very often, sit down in my office and talk on many issues. I was going to India. I was telling you a moment ago that I was in India 1975. That's about 42 years ago, studying there. I was invited to the same school, about 5 years ago. President Mills was alive, just 5 or 6 years ago. And then I bought economy ticket to go to India. I don't know who told President Mills. Well, he just called me, General. I want Mamuhu Kakra. We always speak in Fante. So I'm with him. So, do I hear that you're going to India, you bought an economy ticket? I said, yeah. He said, what's wrong with it? So, but you're paying, why? Everybody going by at the business class, go and change it. Now, I was smiling. He said, what's the problem with that? I said, President, I want to build a school. I need that money to build a school. He said, I'll give you the money. Go and change it. I resisted. I never changed it. The difference was about $7,000 between the business and the economy class. That's the money we are wasting. And you just imagine we're traveling business or economy, or most of our top ordinary people, army officers. And I don't participate in wrongdoing. That's what I did my money, I got my money.
So it is wrong for somebody to use a vehicle and then want to buy it?
In principle, I'm against it. It's wrong. You see, what I was imagining, thinking is this. Today, look at the cost of food. It's very high. I told my wife this morning, he said, look, but I never power on cherry. Then I said, I'm power on cherry. Look, I want to wait for us to get hungry before they start looking for food. They should start now and plan towards growing food. The rains are threatening. By now, fertilizer should be coming in, seeds should be coming in, tractors should be coming in. With what money? The same money we are going to use to buy these things, I use to buy new cars, replacing them, those that we have taken away. If for a year or two, government says, Pelakova says, look, I'm going to use that money to furnish the agriculture industry, to feed us, to produce orange juice, pineapple juice, which are important. It doesn't make sense. But the same money that we should go into agriculture with it, we have to buy new land cruisers because we have taken old ones. And I'm saying it is wrong.
Do we need a task force to retrieve these vehicles?
Task force, I mean, I don't fall in that category because there's no need for a task force.
But since we're told that these vehicles are missing.
I haven't even heard them until you told me.
Yes, do we need a task force to retrieve these vehicles? Government has set up one.
Had any vehicle been stolen at all? I mean, from what you were saying, this car, are you sure that some vehicles have been taken away illegally? I'm not sure. Are you?
Well, the government says they can't find 208 vehicles. Now, the former Deputy Chief of Staff comes out with a statement. In that statement, the vehicles are 641. The Administrator General says that based on what he has, it is 668. And for the purpose of those of us who are watching, per my conversation with the Administrator General, now State Protocol Department under the Presidency has 57 vehicles. General Administration has 41. And then VVIP, and I'm sure you'll be asking what the VVIP is, 570 vehicles. If you do the addition, 668. The question is, where are the 27 vehicles? That's if we're supposed to go for, what the Administrator General said and what this thing is saying, what Mr. Johnny Kofi is saying. So that's the situation.
But I mean, when I'm saying...
And Eugene Ahin says that he cannot account for 208 vehicles because per their figures also, there's supposed to have been 196 Toyota Land Cruiser V8s. There are only 74 of them, 122 unaccounted for.
Are they in Ghana or they have been taken out of Ghana? Or they're in Ghana?
You are the intelligence man.
No, the point is that, I mean, since I left the office, I've been farming. I don't have time. I've been doing all kinds of things. I don't have time. We don't have time for important things that we should be doing. I don't have time to look for. I haven't taken any vehicle. I've lived in my house since I was chief of defense staff. So what we are saying...
Yes, but my point is that do we need a task force to retrieve...
We had a transition team. Let them meet and try to reconcile this. Because, I mean, it doesn't make sense. I would not go for any vehicle. A car which is 41 years.
But for those who have gone for the vehicle,
they should return if they have. Look, I will not take a peso of Ghana's money. I mean, so what should anybody do?
And if they do not return it, do we chase them for it?
Do you know who to the vehicle?
Do we look for them and take it?
No, if the vehicle belongs to the state, it should be taken away from them. But why should anybody, disciplined enough, take a state property and hide it? Nunoo Mensah would never do it. No way would I do. Never. When even I was poor, my father was a fisherman, my mother was selling plantain. I never stole. Now that I am the chief of defense, I go and steal for what? For what purpose?
You seem to like your position as chief of defense staff.
Well, I mean,
you retired as...
You struggle to...
No, you retired as head of human security at the national security.
When we were chief of defense staff, there was a program...
So why do you always talk about being chief of defense staff?
I didn't believe that coming from that background, where I was fishing in Winneba, catching fish, that I would go to school and rise through the ranks and become chief of defense. Not only that, in 1960, when I enlisted in the army, the school I attended, I didn't have teachers. Nobody taught me in school. I taught myself. Did the O level and got my grade 1.
Good.
And I went to the army and went to Britain. In those days, it wasn't that anybody get up and go to Sandhurst.
So, General Nunoo Mensah,
yeah.
The point is that we need a task force to retrieve these vehicles. And
what I'm chasing, what would they be doing? What would be the mandate? Go around looking for vehicles.
To look for them, yes.
Go around corners, go around my backyard. It's what I'm hiding a car in my backyard. No.
Are you saying it's unnecessary?
I think they should just announce whoever has got state vehicle, which he knows is not entitled to, should return them. The thing is, I will not do it. I don't know why anybody would do it.
So are you saying we don't need a task force?
No, what I would suggest we do is that there was a joint transition team covering this. They should meet and reconcile, because you are getting different figures. From what you have said, I didn't know. Figures from here, the general from here. Let's reconcile the figures. And from what I have, see, this problem we have has been with us for a very long time. For a very long time. You see, we are a rotten society morally. I'm telling you. It will never happen when I was growing up. Today it's happening. Not only today. Ghana at 50. Vehicles were imported, they all disappeared.
Yes, but General, I mean, when the NDC took office in 2009, these issues came up. And at the time, the NDC kicked against it.
Which one was this?
The issue of people having vehicles. The NDC didn't understand why people should take state vehicles. And so many of the NPP appointees who had state vehicles were made to return them.
The point is that...
Why must it happen again?
Ghana must wake up, and all this idea about taking free vehicles, they should stop it. It doesn't make sense. A lot of poverty in the country here. People are sleeping on the street. Girls being sexually assaulted and having current children everywhere, are sleeping rough on the street. So these are things that the current government was elected to do. Not be talking about vehicles for what? People are hungry, people have nowhere to sleep, people have no food to eat. And you are telling me that we should waste our time going after vehicles. They should reconcile them and sort the problem out and got into the reason why this massive vote for the NPP took place and meet the needs of the people. But not to go around. I don't have time to go around looking for vehicles. I'm driving my 41-year-old car. I'm driving my 23-year-old car. And I've never driven a new car for many years now. It doesn't do anything to me. When a car breaks down, I push it. At my level, former chief of defense staff.
At your age?
Yes. And
former national security advisor. Okay, we'll go for a short break. When we return, we'll find out more about this particular issue. This is Hot Issues, and I'm Winston Amma with Brigadier General Nunoo Mensah. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, so welcome back from that short break, and thanks for staying with us. So, General, what if somebody is found with a state vehicle, what happens to that person? What should happen to that person?
No, I'm not a law. A law is
No,
there.
but you've just advised that we should go and charge those police guys for forgery.
Whatever.
That would amount to stealing if you're caught.
I mean,
What would you advise be done to that person?
no, my advice is not what is important. I mean, there are laws in this country. Let's follow the laws and do the right thing. I mean, that's just all.
So that would amount to stealing.
Yeah, but so if it's stealing, deal with them. I mean, if the prosecutor will advise that it's stealing, go and deal with them. Look, I'm not going to cover anybody. The reason why this country is in this state, that it wasn't when I was growing up in Winnipeg in the 40s. You know, crime was abhorred. I mean, if you saw a thief, we used to shout on the thief when I was a little boy. Today, when it's a thief, we give you a front pew. I mean, it's in the church. You steal money, you get more adoration for stealing money, and because you can do so many things. That is what is wrong with our society. You should admire integrity, admire, honesty, moral uprightness. We don't. That's why we have all these things happening. Today you have this, you have that, you hear this, and that makes me very sad. Because Ghana can be built. Today we are talking about IMF. IMF to do what? Acheampong came to power 72. IMF said they wouldn't give Ghana any aid because he wouldn't pay our debts, which they thought was improperly acquired under Buzet regime. What did Acheampong do? Acheampong built a house which I bought for 25,000 cedis, 25 cedis to 50 pesos today in cantonments, and we can do it tomorrow. I can do it tomorrow. Put young people who are roaming the city to work tomorrow. It can be done. But you haven't got the willpower to do it. And if you want to, I want to approach many ministers today. I've got ideas about agriculture, ideas about security, ideas about many issues. But to get the minister to talk to you, it's difficult.
Akufo-Addo is your friend, the president.
We had a part.
The president is your friend.
If I went to him, they would say, I've come to him to ask for a job. I'm not asking for a job. At age, I don't need any more job.
Why do you think he would say you've come to him for a job?
It's not him. The people around him. I mean, I've got no problem with President Akufo-Addo. But I know I've been with the NPP. I know the hardliners there. We say, look, what does he want?
What didn't they want?
They think that when you go near the areas of power, you are going to ask for favor. I've never asked for favor in my life. I had to work, Winston. I left 1954, to work as a messenger to earn money to pay my school fees in secondary school. I don't ask for favor. I paid my own fees. Have you done it? When you were in school, did you pay your fees?
I did not.
When it was a port, I was carrying cocoa and cement. I'm telling you, to pay my fees. So I don't need favor from anybody. But Ghana is my country, and I want to be of use. President asking us not to be what? Spectators, but be what?
Citizens.
Citizens, participants. If you have a cocktail party yesterday, and I looked through, I didn't see any known NPP NDC face, except Commodore Bimpe. I saw his face. How can I be a participant when you don't open the gate to me? The ministers I can't get hold of them. But at least I could have gone to a minister, Kandapa, I know them very well. I need to talk to you. Give me a date. Take your telephone number.
Don't you have their numbers?
I don't have them. And try to get in touch. It's not easy. Don't pick your phone. I'm telling you. You see, this is horrifying. I don't want to be here and say things about people that will not be palatable. I call one individual. I said, I want to see you. He said, I'm going to a meeting. Call me at 4 o'clock when I'm back. If I'm back, I never call him again. Why should I call you? You're about half my age. Why should I call you?
Which person is this?
I won't mention it to you.
No, but if he says call him after a meeting, what's wrong with
Why should I call him? If I need to talk to you, I should say I'm going to a meeting. Call me whether I'm back. I would have taken your number. Which I'll call you back. I'll call you because I don't know why you want to see me. They think I'm coming to ask for a favor. I've never asked for a favor all my life of 80 years. Never asked for a peso. I worked through sweat to build myself to what I am. So this attitude, which is sad, the cocktail wasn't meant for just drink and dine.
Okay.
It was meant for you to meet people like that. And Mr. Agriculture, I need to talk to him. Dr. Akutu, I know him very well. But I have issues about agriculture. Food is too expensive. We can do so much. But we're not doing it. We are importing fruit juices. Why? In Ghana, you import orange juice, pineapple juice. It's madness. Madness. And you go to Kolebu, all the problem with liver, kidneys, and whatnot. You don't know where they're coming from. For all the chemicals they're putting in our food. And you can go them here. I want to be able to talk to them. But I can't get a chance. President said we should be participants. If you don't open the gate, how can I get in there and participate?
So the president should open his gate for you?
So that we go there and talk to them. We can build Ghana. I'm telling you, I have faith in Ghana. We can build Ghana. You challenge me. Tell him that I say I can build Ghana. He's a young boy. I can tell them to
I'm sure he's watching by now.
He knows me very well. But if I went to him,
I'm told you were his campaign manager.
I was a campaign manager. And what a wonderful time. A wonderful time. But he needs people like me. I'm not boasting. I'm telling you, to be able to build about 10 schools on your own. Look at my hand. You shake my hand and see.
I will shake your hand when we wrap up with the program. But, you know, as an intelligence person, finally on this issue, do you foresee any chaos? Because there are some members who say they would, members of the NDC who say they would resist any attempt. Because already there's been some, NPP guys who've gone to Kofi Adams' house, for instance.
Yes, I heard
to
this,
pick, 5 vehicles that were there, including 2 Land Cruiser V8s. Yes.
We should be civil about this. I don't want chaos in Ghana. You know, I mean, look, if you haven't seen chaos, June 4th, how old were you?
June 4th, I wasn't born.
You weren't born, so you wouldn't know. That was like a tea party, like children's tea party. Compare that with Aleppo, with Syria, with Iraq. It's hell. You know what? And we can get to that. Don't be mistaken. We can if you don't take care.
We can get to June 4th?
Well than that.
Why?
Look, when people are desperate, you know why this Arab Spring started? In Tunisia, a young graduate was looking for a job, couldn't get a job. He tried to sell in a wheelbarrow. It was seized from him, desperately. He poured petrol on himself, set himself on fire. And that started a revolution across the Arab world. So we shouldn't push young people too hard. There's a girl I know, 8 years ago, I tried to help her to get a job. Up to now, she hasn't got a job. You know, my phones are full of calls. People ask for a favor. I'm living on my pension. I can't share the money. The money is finished. And people ask, you can see the problem on the street as you drive. You drive on the road from here to Nkrumah Circle.
So we've gotten to those days again.
We are getting there. And if you don't take care, we are getting there. So we should be up and doing. Shouldn't waste our time chasing vehicles. There's a job to be done. And as I sit here, I'm almost 80, but you challenge me. And you have a challenge, you and I have a challenge anyway.
You want us to say, we'll say it on TV before we go. We are working on the 6th of March from here to Teshi. Yes.
But what I'm making is that these young boys, I can take them off the streets and start constructing houses tomorrow. It can be done. Achampon didn't get any money from anybody, not from IMF, World Bank, yet he built that so many estates. Teshi Nunoo Estate. He built them, Paneshi Estate. Every district up to this level, he built offices there. If he could do it, why can't you do it now? You see on the road, what do you see? Big vehicles, Land Cruisers, big vehicles. I don't even know whether they all pay duty on the vehicles. Many of them don't pay duty anyway. Many of them don't pay. I know, I've been in security all my life.
So you know they don't pay duty, yes.
Yeah, but see, the institutions that deal with them, we are rotten. We are rotten. I'm telling you, I'm not ashamed to say we are rotten. We don't have integrity. I'm part of the society.
How do we solve it?
Through leadership. Leadership is by example. When I go to site, I push wheelbarrow. So nobody can be lazy. Ghanaians don't want to work. But if the leader is working, they cannot stand idle.
What should the president do?
All those who I'd like to have committed sins, sins or crimes, deal with them. Tell Ghanaians that you can't commit a sin in this government and get away with it. You cannot do it.
Has anybody committed sin in this government yet?
If the Minister for Women, Gender and Children Affairs, if what I heard is true, if it is true, what the politicians say is true, they should put you national service and didn't do it, they shall have no business being in the government. See, let us have integrity. One night, the school I attended in Britain, the motto is you serve to lead. And integrity must be of the highest order. You know, and that is what we are lacking today.
Brigadier General Nunoo Mensah, thank you very much.
Now you see.
So I get to shake you finally. Thank you very much, former National Security Advisor and former Human Security at the National Security Secretariat. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on Hot Issues. My name is Winston. Do have a lovely weekend and make sure you make a date with us same time next week. Bye for now.